AI is being splashed all over the place, but did you know there's a ton of AI features in Final Cut Pro 11? Many of them you may not even know about, or you might have heard about them and not know how to use them. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about all of the new AI features and exactly how to use them. So let's jump into it. The first AI feature is the magnetic mask. Now this is absolutely incredible. If you've ever tried to mask something in Final Cut Pro or draw around something, maybe you want to put text behind an object or color grade that individual item within your footage, you know how difficult this is. This new feature called the magnetic mask makes it easier than ever before. In fact, it's just drag and drop. So let's jump into Final Cut and I'll show you how this works. So I've got this shot here of this Tesla pulling in like this. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can use the magnetic mask. The first way is we're going to mask the car so that we can have text go behind it. And then we're going to use that mask also to do some color grades and color corrections to just the car. And I'll show you how you use this. So essentially, if you want to do this, what I recommend first of all is we want to duplicate the clip. Now you can hold Option down and simply drag the clip up and it'll create a copy here. And the reason we want to do this is because we want to leave the background in, but we want to make it appear as if the car is driving over some text. So on this top clip here, I'm going to go to the side here and I'm going to search for magnetic mask and it will pull this up. I'm going to drag and drop this onto our top clip like this, and then you'll see nothing really much happens. So what we want to do is the eyedropper will come up. I'm just going to click the car here. Now you can see it's actually pulled in a bit of this roof of the sort of beach huts here. So I'm just going to click that and just make sure that we have the car selected. That looks pretty good and it's made a good selection. Once you've done that, you want to come up here to analyze and it's going to do its thing. It's going to go backward and forward and just analyze the car. And to be honest, I find this does a really good job every single time. So there we go. We've got our analyzed clip there. You can see it looks pretty good. Anything in red is been cut out there. I'm going to click on done. And you'll play this back and you'll be like, this doesn't look that good. It hasn't really done much. But what we're going to do, if I get some text here, I've just added in a basic piece of text, little glitch text effect. And you can see there, if I just drag this text down, it's sitting on top and it's not disappearing as the car goes over it. So what you can do, because we duplicated this clip, you can drag and drop this between the two clips like this, and what you'll find what happens now is the car goes over it. So as we have this shot here, let me just click out of this so you can see, click this little shot here. Now as the car comes over the text, it's going to cover it just like that. Means you can do some pretty cool text effects. Now let's actually get rid of this text effect, or we can leave it on. I want to do some color grading just to the car. So if we just disable this by hitting the V key, you can see the car is completely cut out. I'm just going to enable that. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some color grades. So if we come up over here, we can actually do color grades just on the car itself. So if you have a subject and you want to really like play around with the colors, maybe you don't want to adjust the entire scene, you can do it using this. Maybe you want to make the car black and white. We can do that. So let's play that through. I'm just going to delete this text clip there. We've got a car where we can completely change the color of this car, by the way. It doesn't have to be black and white. Let's go in there and let's make the car a different tone like this. Make the shadows, you know, you can kind of play around with it. Let's do the hue. You get the idea. We can change completely the car to a green color there. There we go. So even if you want to color grade, if you want to change the color of something within a clip, or you want to add text effects, this magnetic mask is an absolute lifesaver. Number 2 is transcribe to captions. We have been waiting so long for this feature in Final Cut Pro, and we finally have it, even though it is a bit of an earlier version. So what it means you can do is you can add those transcriptions to the bottom of your videos. The only issue is you can't do much in the way of editing. You can't do bubbly text or anything like that. But again, let me show you in Final Cut how this works. Okay, captions. So this is how you can do it. I've got this clip here of me on a windy bridge. So you can either click here and then come to this area here, click the drop down and go transcribe to captions, or I like using keyboard shortcuts. So Shift Command C, and it's going to instantly do these captions like this. So if I play that through,
Okay, so here's the first test. This is a bit of a traffic test on a bridge. Something that every blogger will have to deal with. Bit of blue noise, bit of traffic in the background, sound.
so you can see there, it's made a couple of little mistakes, and I purposely picked that shot there to show you this. So if you want to change any of the text, simply click onto the caption itself, and you can see it says, "How does deal do?" It meant to say, "How does the audio sound?" So now we can click in here and put, "How does the audio sound?" Easy as that, and it's made that little update. And that's how you can do it. Now, if you did want to add some special effects, like change the fonts, you can't do that directly within Final Cut Pro. But what you could do is you could export these formats, and there's third-party apps that you can use to then re-import them or do your own custom transcriptions. I think, to be honest, this is something that Final Cut will add in the future. It's available in Captions and Premiere Pro, so I really hope, fingers crossed, this option will be coming soon to Final Cut Pro as well. But this is how you can add captions for the moment in Final Cut Pro. A lot easier with AI. If you're enjoying this video so far, then let me tell you about the sponsor of this video, which is us. It's Editor's Keys. This is a Final Cut Pro backlit keyboard, and it contains all of the shortcuts for Final Cut Pro, as well as 3 levels of backlighting. This is what I use to edit all of my videos, and it's used by thousands of editors all around the world. So if you want to edit faster, improve your desk layout, and just increase your productivity, check out editorskeys.com today. I'll put a link in the description below. Now, back to those AI features. Next up is enhanced light and color. At first glance, this can seem like just an auto color correction feature, and it kind of is, but it uses AI to detect elements in the scene, to detect your shots, and really try to give you a good balanced color grade. Now, I've tested this on a lot of shots, even on some S-Log 3 shots or very gray shots from something like a DJI Pocket 3, and it actually works very, very well. Now, I still enjoy doing my own color grading. I like using my own LUTs, but this is a very good thing to use if you want to do a very quick color grade throughout your footage in an instant, or if you just want a really good starting position and then you can adjust it from there. So let me show you on a few clips I've got here. So I've added 2 clips into the timeline, 2 with quite specific issues. This one, the first one, is a D-Log M clip from, I think it's a DJI Pocket 3. And you can see here, it's very gray, very dull. It needs that log color conversion. The second clip is actually a picture profile off on my Sony camera. It actually looks pretty good, but you can see it looks a little bit red. So on the first clip here, let's try it on this. I'm gonna click the drop down here, enhance light and color, and already we can see it's made a nice difference. So if I show you it on and off, look at that, it's off, that's on, off, on. Already this is looking pretty good. Now you can adjust the exposure and things from here, so I would probably make it slightly brighter. I'd maybe adjust the contrast. It's done actually a pretty good job. Take the shadows down or up. Let's put the saturation up, and then again, turn it off and on. I think that's a really nice starting point. Now, secondly, let's try this clip. It actually looks okay, but let's see what it does. Enhance light and color. There, it's very, very subtle, but did you notice what it did there? It's taken out that reddish tone. I think it's made it a little bit too blue, but what do you prefer? You might prefer the bluish look. It's definitely taken out some of that reddish tone because it was definitely too red before. But again, we can adjust it. We can, saturation, we can maybe pump that up, pump it down. If we pump it up, it does remove that little blue a little bit. And I think possibly now, that looks better than before. So very, very easy, a very good starting point, and I would recommend trying this with some troublesome shots that you might have. Okay, so you're recording your video and you thought you recorded it in 50 or 60 frames a second, maybe even 100 or 120 frames a second, so you could slow it down in post-production. Or a client is giving you some video footage that was filmed in 24 or 25 frames a second, and they want that nice slow-mo look. Well, before in Final Cut or Premiere Pro, you couldn't really slow down footage without it looking a bit messy. Yes, there was an option to do this before, but it looked very, very janky and it didn't look very good at all. Now they've added this new AI slow-mo feature. You can actually slow down footage that wasn't even recorded with a high frame rate, and in most cases, it looks pretty good. I've got the shot here. I'm just walking through town, and let's just say I want this to be slow motion. You can see here, I've shown you, it's at 100%. So if I try and slow this down the old way, so I'm just gonna slow, I'm gonna go 50%. I'm gonna drag this out. I'm just gonna make sure this is custom. It's fast floor. Just watch this back now. It looks very, very jaggedy, doesn't it? You couldn't use that. That's not gonna fool anyone. Now you can try some other options here. You've got fast floor, you've got frame, optical flow, which was the best option that we had before. Let's just try that. Let this render out. Okay, let's play this back. That looks better, but you can see when we zoom in on this guy's back, it just looks absolutely terrible. You can see the blur of his arms. Things just don't look great. So let's try this new option. So you can go to smooth slow-mo here and do it by 50%, which I'm gonna do. And I'm just gonna make sure it's on custom, and you wanna make sure that it's on best machine learning. So I've got it on 50%. Let's try that. Let's let it render out and we'll play it through. There we go. How much better does that look? It actually looks like it was filmed in slow motion. So I think that looks really good and definitely something you can use in Final Cut Pro today. Next, we have AI features for your voice. In Final Cut Pro 11, we have voice isolation. Now, this is absolutely probably one of my favorite features in Final Cut Pro 11, and I use this feature a lot. So let's just say you're recording a talking head video like I am now, but you have a bit of echo in your voice, or there's an air conditioning unit. You can use it to cut that out. Maybe it's something very simple. Or let's say you went outside and you were recording near a bus or near the sea, or there's people talking in the background. This feature can do a great job at, well, isolating your voice. Let's take a look. So this is the clip. I've recorded 3 clips for you, all varying levels of terrible audio. So let me play this one back. This is when I was next to a road. I was crossing a bridge. So this is the first audio test, something that all vloggers will have to deal with, a little bit of traffic. So I'm by the sea, there's a few seagulls about. There's about to be a large lorry coming past. So there we go. That is what I would say is quite typical traffic noise. It's not super, super loud, but it's quite loud. If you want to do voice isolation, you come up to here on the right. If you've got it on this, just click on the little audio icon at the top there. Down here, you'll see voice isolation. I'm going to click that on. Now, I'm going to turn this down to maybe 60%. Let's play through and have a listen. This is the first audio test, something that all vloggers will have to deal with, a little bit of traffic. So I'm by the sea. What do you know? It's the traffic noise is almost gone. I'm going to play it through again, and I'm going to turn this off and on so you can hear it live as we go. Okay, so this is the first audio test, something that all vloggers will have to deal with, a little bit of traffic. So I'm by the sea, there's a few seagulls about, there's about to be a large lorry coming past. Can we clean up this audio in? Sounds really good, doesn't it? It can sound too robotic if you have it too high. So here's another one where I was a little bit further back from the camera. Before we put that audio fix on. Oh, sorry, I've already got it turned on there. Let's turn it off. Before we put that audio fix on. Now let's turn it on. Has this made any difference to the audio at all? So the problem with that audio, as you can hear, is it's distant and we've got the wave noise in the background. Let me turn this on. Voice isolation. By default, it comes on at 50%. Let's play it back. That audio fix on. Now let's turn it on. Has this made any difference to the... So you can see it does make a bit of a difference, but it does sound robotic. I'm going to turn it all the way up to the top. Audio at all. I'm very, very far away, about 7 or 8 foot away from the camera. So you can hear there, it's completely got rid of the wave sound, but it does make your voice sound robotic. So for something like that, I would turn it down to around about 45%, something like that. That way you hear a little bit of the wave sound, because I think you don't want to completely remove background noise, but you just want to improve it, especially when you're this far back from the camera with a shotgun mic. Now let's turn it on. Has this made any difference? Sounds acceptable. Now the next one is another good example. I'm here in front of a coach. Listen to this. So this might be a good audio test. We've got the hum of the big coach in the background. Constant hum, which could obviously... Let's turn it on. Up to 70% on this one. Might be a good audio test. We've got the hum of the big coach in the background.
constant hum, which could obviously ruin your audio. Can we fix this? I think the coach is about to pull off. So
Sounds good. Sounding a little robotic. I would probably have this down to 40%. Let's play that off and on.
this might be a good audio test. We've got the hum of the big coach in the background. Constant hum, which could obviously ruin your audio. Can we fix this? I think the coach is about to pull off. So we may need to replay this test and see if we can fix it.
So there we go. Just a simple way you can really improve your audio. It does a fantastic job and you can adjust it to your liking. So to be honest, a lot of the time when I'm in situations like that, I never try and completely remove the background noise. I think it's too harsh if you do that. It sounds robotic and it sounds a bit odd because people can see the things that are creating the noise. You want to have that ambient sound. You want the bird noises, you want the waves, you want the cars. So play around with it. I love it. A feature that I use almost all the time, even in this lovely studio we've got. There's an aircon system that I can't turn off, so I use it in here quite often for that. And then finally, we have Smart Conform. We did have this in an earlier version of Final Cut Pro, but it's been updated slightly and it works fairly well. Not a perfect feature, but let's say you have a project in 16:9 and you want to do a very quick social media export of this timeline, or you want to get a good starting position. What you can do is create a smart conformed project and it's going to intelligently look at your footage and try and make it for social media. I'll show you how that works. So let's say we've done this little project here. Obviously this isn't a real project, but let's say I wanted to make this quickly for social media. It does take quite a long time to shift clips around. So all you need to do is we are going to right click this and we are going to duplicate project as. Click that. Then we are going to change this down here to vertical. We're going to give it a new name, sound sample 2. Smart conform. Make sure you change it to 4K if you want it, well, not 4K, higher resolution than 720 by, now I'm just going to do 1080 by 1920, 25p, click OK. So what it's trying to do is analyze these clips, put them in the right position on the timeline and within frame. Let's see how it's done. So we can see here already we have a vertical timeline.
Here's the first test. This is a bit of a traffic test.
I'm in the middle there. I think that's framed that shot pretty well. Nice. It's framed me perfectly. Remember, that was the very wide shot of me standing quite far back from the camera. Yeah, it's even got the little figure on the top of the pub there. It's popped me in the center. It's got the coffee cup up. Yeah, and it's pretty much done everything right. I mean, if we crop that down, just going to put that in here, you can see how wide that shot was there. And some automatic programs I've got doesn't know what it's looking at. You know, it might put it there, it might put it there, it might put it halfway over there. So the fact that it's actually put it slap bang in the center is pretty good. Same with this shot here. You know, it needs some slight adjustment, but overall that's pretty good. And I think if you're just looking for a quick way of taking a 16:9 timeline, put it onto your socials for quick stories, this is the way to do it. So they are some of the new AI features we have in Final Cut Pro 11. Did you know about all of those, or is there anything else you would like to see Apple add in future versions of Final Cut? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more Final Cut tutorials just like this. See you in the next one.